The Shadow Otaku did assure you that he was going to come back, didn't he? Prepare for hear the summary of the next chapter of one of the most famous Ranma Goes all-girl fanfics of all time. Genma's Daughter, Chapter 2, The Girl in the Mirror. This chapter could easily have been skipped or condensed into the next chapter. Most of what happens is little more than relatively predictable consequences from the revelation in Chapter 1. But to do that would have been a mistake, a waste. The Shadow Otaku does believe, as it gives us a great deal of perspective watching these consequences transpire. Two things that should be noted, things that the previous video failed to cover, was that brief cameo by Miki and her mother Noriko. It was a cameo in Chapter 1, but later in the series they play a major role in things. I'll say that much. Also, it must be noted that Noriko predictably flipped when she found out Genma had engaged their daughter to another girl, and swiftly said she would not allow it, ever. Some may read a degree of homophobia in this statement, but sadly, most people to this day are still somewhat homophobic. It's a sad but true fact of life. But anyway, on with this chapter. It starts with breakfast the day later. Noriko greets them both, besides, surprise, surprise, that Ranma, regardless of his or her gender, needed to learn to eat in a more polite and orderly fashion. They then proceeded to visit Cologne, and of course, Moose and Shampoo were there. Shampoo tried to glump Ranma at first. Ranma just tried resisting as usual at first, and then just stared at Shampoo. And Shampoo was unnerved. Akane also stared, rather than getting angry and hostile, all of which made it more fun. Ranma asked Moose and Shampoo if their curse caused them to feel compulsion to stay in their cursed forms indefinitely. Both assured him that they felt no such compulsion. Ranma explained the real situation to Cologne. After initial mocking disbelief, Cologne accepted the photographic evidence, as well as documentary evidence, was just too extensive to have been fabricated, even by one of Tendo Nabiki's talents. Cologne was unsure what to make of it. Unlike many other girl Ranma fanfics, Cologne explicitly states that the kiss of death was over and done with. On the way to visit, after that they leave and go to visit Dr. Tofu. On their way there, Ranma clings for a moment to a fantasy that maybe the curse trying to corrupt one's identity is just for the human curses. After some pushing by Akane, he accepted that that was highly unlikely. He went on a brief misogynistic tirade, saying he didn't want to be a girl, girls are weak, they get obsessed over stupid stuff, etc., etc., etc. Akane took it in stride, finding such attitude easier to endure now knowing whose fault it really was. Besides, she fully intended on punishing the real person responsible, knowing what kind of decoration a panda hide might make. Tofu was Dr. Tofu was extremely conciliatory and told Ranma that most people are quite comfortable with being a man or a woman. If Ranma found himself being drawn to his girl form, it was from his own psychology, not a direct response to the curse. He also made a statement how he would have to have words with Genma when he returned. There's a lot of people just getting in line to have words with him, aren't there? The said Otaku will note that if that ever transpired, it was not depicted. He further advised Ranma to try living as a girl for a while, and if he felt comfortable enough with it, to try attending school as a girl. Ranma was justifiably, given further events in the series, terrified of the notion of what people would say. From there, Ranma and Kane went back home and shared the story with the other two. It turned out that Sood had gone off after Genma to try recovering him as he had ran off, afraid for his life. Given that Nodoka carries that katana with her everywhere, probably even into the shower, I think he was probably right to be afraid, don't you? At first, Kasumi tried reassuring Ranma he didn't have to let his origin dictate who he was. Just because he was born a girl didn't mean he couldn't be a boy now if he wanted to be. But he confessed to uncertainty about the future he wanted in a fashion that shocked some of the others, saying he wasn't sure if he wanted to continue living as a boy. Kasumi and Nobiki then watched a video and recovered their own memories of knowing her as Ranko. As Akane remembered... One more thing that I forgot to mention in Chapter 1. As Akane heard little Ranko-chan calling her her bestest friend towards the Chapter 1, wondering just how such a sweet and kind girl could ever grow up to be so insensitive and obnoxious a jerk. Also, in the thing earlier with Dr. Tofu, thought I should mention this, he also mentioned Yukio, saying that she's been raised to act and dress and talk like a boy for the most part, yet still has strong girlish impulses from the earliest days of her childhood. Anyway, back on track. Afterwards, Kasumi found Nobiki sobbing. When asking her what was wrong, Nobiki, in an uncharacteristic display of humanity, compared the scene from earlier to a horror movie. This entire series humanizes Nobiki to a degree uncharacteristic of Ranma 1/2 fanfics, possibly to the point of being OOC. But the show Otaku does believe she is not quite as heartless as some people would have us believe. Nobiki, after making statements of sympathy to Ranko / Ranma, and being patently judgmental towards Genma, told Kasumi not to tell the others about her uncharacteristic reaction and went to bed. Ranma went to the bathroom to take a bath, but seeing her reflection in the mirror was unnerved. She had long seen her girlfriend as nothing but an illusion, a mirage. Now she could not help but see her as a victim of Genma's ruthlessness and his desire to pass on his path in life. She looked at the girl in the mirror and broke down crying and apologized. The girl who had her life stolen from her, never had a boyfriend, slumber parties, gone to wear dresses, etc. In the end, she asked the girl in the mirror, "Who are you?" It might seem somewhat nonsensical since she is that girl in the mirror, but Ranma was pretty unnerved and might not want to accept himself as a victim. A lot of people don't, the Shadow Otaku has noted. After things are building up, the Shadow Otaku will note. Ranma Ranko has shown a great degree of uncertainty. Genma has run off, probably hiding somewhere in a bunker to stay away from the Dokkan or Katna that are coming to pay him a little visit. And everyone, even Akane, seems ready to try even shampoo rather than going on another kiss of death streak. Nabiki's also Akane's not being violent girl inflicting her cooking on the universe. Nabiki isn't thinking about taking photos left and right. Everyone's banding together to help Ranma. Some might find this OOC. The Shadow Otaku thinks it's not entirely unbelievable. It's refreshing, actually, to see this kind of warm and fuzzy atmosphere to Ranma 1/2 fanfic. Check out sometime in the next week or so. Please leave reviews in the meantime with Chapter 3 of Genma's Daughter, This Is Me.